Hi Booktube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Today I'm doing the evolution of a Booktuber tag. It's a tag that was created by Jack from Spread Book Joy, and I don't believe I was tagged in this. If you have tagged me and I missed it, then uh, please let me know. But it was a tag I found interesting, and I enjoyed seeing other people doing it, so I thought I'd give it a try. There are 4 prompts, and I haven't really prepared anything for how I'm going to answer it, so we'll see how that goes. The first prompt is extinction. Are there things you used to do on your channel that you no longer do? And there are any number of things really that I've stopped doing since I started. I was recently watching Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic. I was watching his response to this tag, and he was saying that early on he used to edit out all of his ums and ahs and things like that, and he was very conscious about them. And that struck a chord with me because I'm someone who says a lot of ums and a lot of ahs, and I take a while to work out exactly what it is I'm trying to say. And so yeah, that struck a chord. And when I first started, I was really self-conscious about that. And so I did edit my videos more back then. I wasn't really editing out every single and ah or anything like that. But if there was something in there that I found embarrassing or something like that, I'd cut it out. Or if I was struggling with a particular segment of a certain video, I would just start that segment all over again and sort of paste it all together. And really, after a while, I just found editing to be quite annoying, and so I've stopped doing it pretty much. When I record my phone, and so I just hit record, stop, and then I've got a little editor on my phone which I use to just cut off a couple of seconds at the beginning before I stop talking, and I cut off a second or two at the end once I've stopped talking, and I boost the volume a little bit because I'm quite soft spoken, and that's all I do. And so I no longer worry too much about how I present the videos too much. I like the idea of just being able to turn the camera on and I'll just start talking as naturally as possible. And so that's probably one of the big changes that I've noticed myself. And I think just my approach to Booktube is a little more relaxed. It's much more to do with just how I'm feeling, what I'm in the mood for doing, which is good because it's kept me making videos. I'm not putting any particular pressure on myself to read a certain kind of book or to produce a certain kind of video by a certain time, or there's nothing like that. There are no limitations like that on what I do. I can do whatever, whenever I want, in whichever way I choose. And so that's another change. I'm a little less prescriptive. I can remember when I was sort of planning my channel, just as I was starting, I'd kind of set a little, I don't know, almost like a timetable for the week. So I'd do a Tag Tuesday video every week and a Friday reads every week. And I no longer really do a Friday reads. I quite enjoy watching other channels when they're doing Friday reads. But I was realizing that I was doing a lot of these long reading projects where I was reading a long book or a long series of books or something like that. And I was finding that every Friday I was having difficulty finding something worthwhile to say about the book. And so I found it better to do these wrap ups and to just share my thoughts about a book once I've finished it. And so the sort of random reading updates that I do and the end of month wrap ups have served me much better. And so there are a few changes that have happened over the course of me having a Booktube channel. Number 2 is adaptation. What things have you done on your channel or as a result of being on Booktube that you never thought you would do? I suppose one would be a Q&A video that I did last year when I hit 700 subscribers. And I suppose I kind of always thought that I'd keep things relatively, I'd be sharing what I'm reading and things like that. But I wouldn't want to be too um, intimate, I suppose. Whereas actually, I feel like my relationship with BookTube and with people who comment and with people who make videos is quite informal. And so by the time I was making that video, I didn't really care about people asking random questions. I was quite happy with it, and it was something that I wouldn't have expected beforehand. What other things have I changed? I suppose the big change, and it should seem kind of obvious if you're going to start talking about books online, is that a lot of my reading was just me by myself. And although certainly before COVID, I had people to talk about books with, um, it, it was kind of different talking about what I'm reading and my sort of development as a reader. And so sort of booktubers sort of given me a chance to sort of talk about books in a slightly more personal way, I suppose. Um, so there are a couple of things I can sort of think of on the spot. Number 3 is evolution. How has Booktube changed you, and what do you aspire to do in the future? Um, maybe a difficult one. It, it feels kind of similar to the last one in a sense. I suppose one change is the kind of inventory of authors that I want to get to has changed a lot because of Booktube, just because of the number of recommendations coming my way, whether in the comments or in other people's videos. The kind of bookish landscape around me has changed significantly in a good way. And so that's certainly something. And I suppose one aspiration is to is to try and meet some of those recommendations and to take them up and maybe get better at making more solid, more sincere recommendations myself. So that's certainly something. And I think I just want to keep on going as simply and honestly as I possibly can, to say what I mean in the moment and hope that it will sort of come across and that it will actually make sense to people. But I'm sort of very glad that as a reader I seem to have changed since Booktube in a great way. I've been introduced to so many great writers. Whether that I might have got some of them before. Thinking of people like Umberto Eco or even Tolstoy and people like that who I might have got to eventually. But Booktube really sort of pushed me and really piqued my interest, so that it got to a point where I couldn't go on any longer not reading those books. And so that's another way that I seem to have changed, and I'm hoping that will carry on, and that there'll be plenty more authors like that. I've just been reading Georges Simenon, his Maigret books. I've just been reading some short stories, and I don't think I'd really heard of Georges Simenon before Booktube. So that's just a recent one as well. So I'm just rambling about book recommendations. So you'll be glad to know there's just one more prompt left, which is a bonus prompt, and it's impart some words of wisdom to all fledgling booktubers out there. And I think recently I did a tag where I asked to give some advice, and I probably will repeat it by just saying to be yourself, which is the thing that you always say. But um, I think it's sort of just an important thing to remember to not try to, present in the way someone else presents, but just to, just do your best to relax and be yourself on the camera, and that will really speak volumes, I think. And sort of connected to that, I was just thinking, don't just read. I was, trying to find the best way to phrase it. Read and talk about the books that you want to read and talk about. So just because you've got a channel, don't feel like you have to read certain books. Don't feel like you have to say certain things about certain books. Be yourself there as well. Read the books you enjoy and just let us know how much you enjoy them. And again, that will speak volumes. Many of the booktube channels I watch, they're readers who read, on the whole, very different books to the books that I read. And there's some overlap every now and then, but I watch quite a lot of booktubers who read books I'll probably never get to, and yet it's their joy for those books that keeps me interested and sort of keeps me engaged with them. And so I would say, just read and talk about what brings you in, what brings you joy, and just what you love reading. And I'll leave it there. So I've got 4 people to tag. I'm not sure if they've been tagged yet, but I'll tag them again. So I'll be tagging Will Chambers, Pat from Book Chat with Pat, Sean D. Standfast, and Debs from Rainer Read Stuff. And that's it. So that's the evolution of a Booktuber Tag by Jack from Spread Book Joy. And hope to be with you soon. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.